When I was really little, my grandmother and my mom and myself, we all used to live in this house in Covina until I was 5. On the fireplace mantle, my grandmother had a large collection of clowns. There were all different sizes, large, small, some were really soft and silky. And I remember when I was about 4, my grandma gave me one that was orange and white. When we moved, I realized my mom had a collection of sad clowns and these French stylized clowns with really intricate costumes and makeup. She still has a few of them, but I can distinctly remember a cousin of ours that drew her sad clown as a portrait, and it was the most beautiful painting I'd ever seen. I was around 7 years old when this picture was painted, and it inspired me to want to learn how to draw and paint really well. In fact, that same cousin or uncle actually showed me the very first steps in drawing. We would sometimes go to Vegas as a family, and I always wanted to stay at Circus so we could watch the clowns and the circus show. I don't know if it's because my mom had a collection of clowns or if it was just the acrobatics and the circus. I don't really know why, but that's just what I always wanted to do every time we went to Vegas. As I grew older, I became really obsessed with mimes, which are like clowns but a little bit different. Obviously quieter and different makeup, but still that same aesthetic. And then I would come to meet friends who actually feared clowns, which I would always find hysterical because I never feared clowns. I think one time we went to Knott's Scary Farm and there was an entire clown section with all these rides that were clown themed. And everybody freaked out about these clowns, and I actually thought they were really funny or interesting, and some of the masks were absolutely insane and they were amazing. I mean, some of the makeup is absolutely spectacular. But I've never had a fear of clowns. I've met lots of people who have feared clowns. I've actually always been fascinated by them. And then I learned there was clown college. At first I thought it was a joke and realized that it's a real thing. But at this point I was already in college and was going to school for art and didn't realize that college to become a clown was an actual thing. So if I would have known back then, I probably would have been a clown. I had never been to a real circus until 2023. I was in Bend, Oregon for a work event. I decided to stay a little bit longer for the weekend so that I can enjoy some time in Bend without having to work. And while I was in Bend, it was actually in Redmond, but while I was in Redmond, I decided to attend this circus that was actually